crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning. Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to start today. I'm gonna talk really briefly about silver and cryptos, and then go into some monumental revelations, discussions on the highest level of the most important commodity on the planet, which, at least money-wise, the volume-wise, which is oil. If you know gold and silver being rigged by the COMEX derivative market and all that, cryptos being massively rigged on these criminal exchanges, you probably understand that the largest commodity bought and sold on the planet, which is oil, is also 100% rigged. The COMEX does a fine job, just as good as rigging the gold and silver markets. But one of the largest suppliers of oil has just called out the market rigging, and you can just replace oil for silver, and you'll get the same discussion and the same. I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, little shenanigans this morning right here, a little slam down. That this is how the game is played. We already heard it. We already heard it from J.P. Morgan traders who were found guilty. They literally throw all these fake trades and real trades, but also a lot of fake orders to look at the volumes. Huge spike in volume this morning to slam it down, try to get rid of the shorts if they're looking to buy. When I say buy for the current situation, it is the big commercials buying to cover their shorts, so they have no shorts at the moment that the system is destroyed. And I'll get to when the system is destroyed in 1 second. We are coming very close. You should have all your assets in your own possession now, not tomorrow. Don't wait for September 1st, because September's going to be the very important month. Don't wait till September 1st. Go today. Take everything out of your bank, everything out of your 401k, your checking account, your savings account, everything, and go buy as much silver as you can. Physical silver in your own possession only. Not financial advice, but that's what I did years ago. And that's what I continue to do. Anytime I get a penny in the bank, I take the penny out, I go down to my local silver store, and I buy physical silver, and I take it home. Silver will become unobtainium, as Cliff High's data shows. We will get to 100% premiums on Silver Eagles. Right now, the premium is right around, I think last time I heard, it's around 70% premiums. We will get to 100 plus from the price of the derivative market to the price of the actual physical Silver Eagle in your hand. Would I buy Silver Eagles right now? No, not at all. One, because I already have a bunch from when the prices were normal. I did get a letter from Vitris Gibson. Vitris Gibson, the head of Ventris. People say I say her name wrong. Ventris, Ventris, Gibson. This is not personally to me. It's dear valued customer. But this will shock you. I talked about this in the yesterday discussion with Will Lair. In this letter, basically she's touting the U.S. Mint as this great thing. We take pride in our customer satisfaction. Nobody is satisfied with the U.S. Mint right now. But this is the shocking thing. We appreciate your continued patience as we work to increase numismatic production amid unprecedented demand for circulating coins, staffing shortages during the global pandemic, and supply chain issues. You shouldn't have any staffing shortage anymore. The pandemic is long gone. And supply chain issues, they don't elaborate on that. But the Canadian Mint has no problem getting blanks. Nobody else has any problem other than the U.S. Mint. But here's the second line of this paragraph. This year, we significantly increased production quantities of one of our most popular coins, the American Eagle 1 ounce silver dollar, which will lead to broader availability for our customers. That is insane. The amount of silver eagles that the U.S. Mint can produce and did produce back when J.P. Morgan was taking delivery of them It was 48 million coins one year. 48 million. So they can do 48 million. You're right now, 8 months into the year, they're at 11 million. And the premiums are off the charts, and they're telling everybody there's shortages in Silver Eagles, and it's not because they can't get the blanks, and it's not because they don't have the staffing. They didn't fire anybody. I looked at their balance sheet and their P&L. They're not firing it. The budget for the mint is going through the roof. So nobody's being fired. And Vitra says they're significantly expanding production of the Silver Eagle. So where are the Silver Eagles? What are you doing with this significant production? You're not giving it out to the people who legally can buy it in unlimited quantities, which is we the people. Where is it going? Are you giving it to JP Morgan? We don't know. But they've only made 11 million coins, 11.9 million coins this year. So they're on track to make maybe 18 or 19 million. And she's saying we significantly expanded our production. That's why Ventures Gibson is an HR person, a career HR, human resources person with the government. What is she doing running the mint? Who would appoint her as the director of the mint if she has zero experience in it? And now she's telling us they're significantly expanding their Silver Eagle program when we see the evidence. They could this year, unless they got rid of a whole bunch of production, which I don't think they did. The production machines, everything's done with computers now anyway. Why do you have a shortage of Eagles due to pandemic issues if everything's done on CNC machines? I've seen the videos, Ventris. Go look at the videos of the U.S. Mint, and you'll see how the U.S. Eagle is produced. Everything is done with machines, and they're fast and they're perfect. Anyway, I'm gonna save this little letter. I'm gonna reach out to Ventris and try to get an interview with her. See if she'd be willing to come on the road to Ruta to explain to the hundreds of thousands of people who watch these videos and follow the road to Ruta why they can't make Silver Eagles in quantities to meet demand if they're significantly expanding the Silver Eagle program. Significantly expanding. Get ready for a new gold silver standard, by the way. All right, so that's what's going on with silver. Now, mind you, when this crash happens, and I'm going to get to the crash in a second, I think it will start in September. I've been saying that for over a year now. I keep my eye on the September 11th date always. I'm right around there. And there's other markers that point to that time frame, the second half of September, as the major collapse. And it won't happen. It might happen overnight and things stop. We know that they can set the price of silver to minus $40. They did it with oil. They can do it with silver. It's easy to do. It's a click of a mouse to set it to minus $40. I don't know what they'll set it to. If they want to keep the system going, then they'll probably set it, I don't know, $10, $5, $3 an ounce of silver. You won't be able to get any, but it'll allow the criminals on the COMEX to shift their positions. And it's all done with computers and programs. And they take both sides of this game. So I don't think that the banks can't get out of their situation. All they have to do is pass the short position on to BlackRock or any other hedge fund that they want, that they set up. BlackRock is heavily involved in the manipulation of silver, along with SLV. By the way, if you have SLV, you will lose 100%. They are going to shut that market down. Get out of SLV. Do not listen to anybody. Don't think about, I got cheap silver because I got SLV. Get physical. It is ridiculous that people even have mining shares. All mines are going to be nationalized, even in the United States of America. You'll get fair value at the time of the crash, probably. Get out of mining shares. Get out of any derivative product. Yes, mining shares are derivative products. By the way, those shares have been rehypothecated to kingdom come. There's probably 10 shares, 10 legitimate claims to the same single share that the company issued. That's one of the big problems with all these exchanges is the rehypothecation. the creation out of thin air of phantom shares. Why do you think they trade so many shares in a single day? I think it's Apple goes, I think every 10 days or 15 days, every Apple share trades hands, which is ridiculous because most people hold Apple in their 401k and it never moves. So it's true with Apple, it's true with everything. That's the way our markets are these days. That's one of the problems the bad guys are trying to fix with the crash. It's going to get squirrely how things work, but hey, hang in there. As far as Bitcoin and cryptos, I think the same thing. They can set the price of Bitcoin to minus $40. Absolutely. You won't be able to get any real Bitcoin, but these exchanges are all fake trades. These volumes are fake. Look at the volume of Bitcoin traded every day. $35 billion of Bitcoin is traded every day. That's bullshit. These are fake trades. They're all fake trades. These are all derivatives. If you have your cryptos in an exchange like Coinbase, you will lose them 100%. Now is not the time to screw around. All right, here's what I'm talking about with the oil market. The number one most important human being on the planet when it comes to real commodities. Given that oil is the number one commodity on the planet needed, the number one producer is Saudi Arabia, and so the number one guy when it comes to discussing market pricing and how markets are priced is this guy, energy minister for Saudi Arabia, Prince Abdulaziz, or something to that effect. Listen to what he says, and this is important. And if you're a silver investor, just swap out the word oil for silver, and you'll be shocked. This just came out. Oil market volatility could force OPEC production cuts, in Saudi energy minister says. The paper oil market has fallen into a self-perpetuating vicious cycle of extreme volatility, Saudi energy minister Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman said. Saudi Arabia's energy minister, this is just the article. I'm going to go right to the horse's mouth, right here. Here's what he said. This is from the Saudi agency, right here, Saudi press agency. A minister of energy, OPEC has the means to deal with market challenges, including cutting production at any time. Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, energy minister, says volatility and thin liquidity send erroneous signals to market at times when clarity is most needed. In an interview with Bloomberg, the prince pointed out that OPEC has the commitment, the flexibility, and the means within the existing mechanism of the Declaration of Cooperation to deal with such challenges, including cutting production at any time and in different forms, has been clearly and repeatedly demonstrated in 2020 and 2021. Now listen to this. Bloomberg asked, how do you describe the current state of the market? Listen to this. Now, substitute this oil for silver. The paper oil market has fallen into a self-perpetuating vicious circle of very thin liquidity and extreme volatility, undermining the market's essential function of efficient price discovery, and have made the cost of hedging and managing risk for physical users prohibitive. This has a negative impact on the smooth and efficient operation of oil markets, energy commodities, and other commodities, creating new types of risks and insecurities. The vicious circle is amplified by the flow of unsubstantiated stories about demand destruction, recurring news about the return of large volumes of supply, and ambiguity and uncertainty about the potential impacts of price caps, embargoes, and sanctions. Bloomberg asks, how is current volatility impacting the functioning markets? This is detrimental because without sufficient liquidity, markets can't reflect the realities of the physical fundamentals in a meaningful way and can give a false sense of security at times when spare capacity is severely limited and the risk of severe disruptions remain high. Nowadays, no one not look far for evidence of this. The paper and physical markets have become increasingly more disconnected. In a way, the market is in a state of schizophrenia, and this is creating a type of yo-yo market and sending erroneous signals at times when greater volatility and clarity and well-functioning markets are needed more than ever to allow market participants to efficiently hedge and manage huge risks and uncertainties. How can OPEC deal with these challenges? In OPEC, we have experienced a much more challenging environment in the past, and we have emerged stronger and more cohesive than ever. OPEC has the commitment, the flexibility, the means within the existing mechanisms of the Declaration of Cooperation to deal with such challenges and provide guidance, including cutting production at any time and in different forms, as has been clearly and repeatedly demonstrated. We will soon start working on a new agreement beyond 2022, which will build on our previous experiences, achievements, and successes. We are determined to make a new agreement more effective than ever. Witnessing this recent harmful volatility disturb the basic functions of market and undermine the stability of the oil markets, we will only strengthen our resolve. The big takedown, the big answer right here. The physical and paper markets have become increasingly more disconnected. In a way, the market's in a state of schizophrenia. That's exactly what's happening in silver. Physical premiums are going through the roof, obviously in Silver Eagles, because Ventris will not make them. But every form of silver, you're going to pay more and more and more. It used to be, I was talking to Will, he said, it used to be back in the day, they just want, 50-cent premium is what the buyers of, depending on what type of silver, 50-cent premium was plenty. And that was the going rate. And now you're looking at premiums of $2, $3, $4, well, in the case of Silver Eagles, what is it, $15 premiums? What happens when it hits $20 premiums and then the price of silver is still at $19? At some point, the U.S. is going to have to shut this con down. And it won't be the regulators deciding, oh, yeah, we're going to do this. It's going to be a natural destruction of the banking system. When the banks go, all these prices are gone. You won't know the price of your silver for probably months. You won't know your price of your crypto for probably months. Be prepared for that. Anyway, that's where we are with that. Let's talk about when this shit's going to happen. I think we're looking at September, starting the weekend of September 11th, all the way through the month into October, November. Senator Joe Manchin's warning of other members of his party not to back out of compromise climate deals that helped the Democrats pass $700 billion reinflation act. So Joe Manchin was promised these things for his state, and now the crazies within the Democratic Party, they feel empowered because they got something signed, the Inflation Reduction Act. What a ridiculous name. But now they're backing out on the deal. And Joe Manchin's saying, you can't back out on this deal. We made a deal. That's not how Congress works, but AOC and her little gang of criminals they don't give a shit. They don't care about, deals that are made. They don't care about the structure of how Congress has worked in the past. And Joe Manchin's saying, if you do this, if you do not follow through with your half of this bargain, I'm going to shut down the entire system. And he could do that. And he says it right here. Here's the deal he made. In exchange for consideration at a later date of separate legislation that would grant some concessions to fossil fuels and would cut down on regulations of the industry. Now, with the Inflation Reduction Act passed, some Democrats are getting cold feet about honoring the deal, which they say would undercut the effects of the approximately $400 billion climate spending contained in the larger reconciliation bill. Here's what Joe Manchin said. I've got the hard left now saying, hell no, we're not going to do anything now that makes it look like we're helping Joe Manchin. He should have known that he would get double-crossed. But what can Joe do? Right here. Though some Democrats seem to be looking at the prospects of betraying Manchin, the West Virginia Democrat has turned his gaze across the aisle to force his party to uphold their side of the bargain. Specifically, Manchin has demanded that the regulation cuts be included as part of the stopgap spending measure, which must pass by September 30th to stave off a government shutdown. If he doesn't get his way on this, Manchin suggested he is quite happy to team up with the Republicans and force a government shutdown until Democrats yield. So he's going to shut down the government. But here's a specific quote. This is something the Republican Party has wanted. Has wanted for the last 5 years, and I've been with them, Manchin said. It either keeps the country open or we shut down the government. That'll be September 30th. So let's see how the politics play out. Remember, Dick Allgaier and the remote viewing guys had Congress does shut down, and it's over. And the September 30th, surprise, surprise, surprise. What's September 30th? It's the end of the fiscal year of the U.S. It's the end of all kinds of things. By the way, I did an interview with Greg Reese of over at. I'll post it when he posts it. He's got a blog, a huge blog, and followed by a lot of people. But he said, "Hey, check out what they're doing over there at the Cleveland Fed." They have a display on the Wizard of Oz, which I thought was really cool. And I go to the site and look at this. This is the Federal Reserve. Look at that sign, Road to the Fed. Road to Ruta is so ingrained in the Fed. Again, Road to Ruta, the name Road to Ruta comes from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston comic books. And it comes from a lot of these economic formulas back in the 1960s when the Fed was trying to fix the problem of a faltering gold standard. Ultimately, they chose on the road to the golden age, which is print as much money as possible, soaking up the benefits, and then crash the system. We're at that crash the system part of that. And when's it going to crash? Absolutely coming up. It's going to start in September. Certain things to watch. If you're spiritual, the harvest moon is September 22nd. That's the autumnal equinox. The autumnal equinox, official name of the autumnal equinox. An equinox is an astronomical event that happens twice, once in the spring and once in autumn, each year when the tilt of the Earth's axis is inclined neither away nor towards the sun. So that's what an equinox looks like. They love to do. By the way, the crash is already planned. Our job is to figure out what day. It'll be, the beginnings should be seen starting on September 11th. And then moving into the end of September, you're going to see some huge things. Keep an eye on these dates as well. The Jewish calendar has dates when it's like the 1929 collapse happened on the Rosh Hashanah. So Rosh Hashanah this year comes on, drumroll please, September 26th. September 26th. Keep an eye on that as well. It is programmed in. I don't know what day it is. Remember the Road to Ruta documents, when Ruta wrote in the sand 9+11, this was January 1st and when they published this in 2007. And then 2008, it was on 9/11 that we were half an hour away from shutting down the entire system. We will get to that this September, October timeframe, but there will be no bailouts. I think that's the real issue is going to be, okay, the banks are collapsing. Do we bail them out? Can Congress agree on a bailout? Hell no. They will not bail them out. They cannot bail them out. They won't bail them out, which means if they don't bail them out, all the too big to fail banks go poof. That means everything shuts down. You won't have a checking account. You won't have a savings account. You won't have a 401k. No, the FDIC doesn't have. They don't have. I think it's less than 1% of what they insure they have on their books. Less than 1%. Okay. I believe that the beginning of September is going to start the European collapse. When the European collapse happens, it's a couple weeks before the U.S. collapse happens. Lindsey Williams, a long time ago, said it's going to start in Europe, and then it's going to, within 2 weeks, that'll be your warning. If you're in the United States or anywhere around the world besides Europe, that'll be your warning that we are literally 2 weeks away from everything shutting down. You won't see a price for silver or gold. You won't see a price for your cryptos. All those exchanges will be shut down and gone forever. If you have your cryptos in there, goodbye. Just kiss them goodbye right now. If you have your money in SLV or mining shares, kiss it goodbye right now. Those are all going to, it's not necessarily that they're going to zero. It's that there won't be any exchanges for I don't know how long. When the monetary system fails, there is no stock market. There is no bond market. You have what you have in your own possession. That's it. Now they'll try to restart things, and God only knows how that's going to go down. I think they'll try to reboot the old system. It'll fail, and then they'll go right to gold and silver in the U.S., and then every country's got to decide what the hell they're going to do. That's how big this is. But Spanish officials warn of a winter of great suffering. This whole thing with Europe is provoking Russia when Russia provides them with all their energy. It's just insane. It's literally, it's part of the play, though. So, yes, Russia is going to shut off all of Europe. It's going to be a brutal winter. Get out of Europe. And it might be part of the plan, truthfully. I do think we're coming into an ice age. And most of Europe will be frozen. The top half of the United States will probably be frozen. I mean, I don't know how far down in an ice age this time. We have ice ages, it's not out of the realm. Cliff says it's the type of thing like you'll get a big winter, and that winter will just keep going, and then all of a sudden a really short summer, and then another winter, and that's how all the ice builds up. And I think it is coming down from Canada. I think Canada will be under an ice sheet. I think the U.S. parts of the U.S. will be too. I don't know how. Cliff has talked about this for a long time. And a lot of the psychics are seeing something big is coming. Something big is coming. It could be an asteroid they come all the time. I saw one, by the way. If you followed the Road Route long enough, I was at my dad's vineyard, middle of the night. All of a sudden, a gigantic explosion in the sky lit up the whole valley in Northern California. The entire valley was lit up like daytime. I had my night vision goggles with me because it was like a gigantic explosion. You could see everything, and then it faded. And I pull out the goggles, and I can see a smoke screen coming in, like an asteroid coming in. It hit something, or something hit it, and then it went off in a V shape. So either we are being protected by something from the ground, or some kind of shield around the planet. Yes, that's how crazy I am. But I witnessed it. I saw it. And then I saw the smoke trail because I had my night vision goggles. So don't try to tell me that, Bix, you're full of shit. That's exactly what happened to me, and I have 2 other witnesses who were with me at the time who saw the exact same thing. So we are being protected. How protected? I don't know. I think it depends on us. Are we worth saving as a civilization? Are human beings worth saving here on planet Earth? Yeah, at times I look around, I'm like, probably not. But no, there are good people, and all we need is truth and honesty in our world. That's all we need. And by the way, Russia is burning off millions of dollars of gas every day because they got to do something with it. So they flare it off instead of they used to give it to Germany, and Germany said we want to go to war with you. So they said screw you, we'll cut you off. This crazy world we live in. Anyway, that's what I got for you right now. Probably won't be checking in this weekend. Got a bunch of things going on. Maybe Sunday night. If you want to join the private road, there's so much great information. Andy and I talk about the mint failure. Penny Kelly discussion is a great one. Dick Allgaier. All the Road to Ruta stuff. Jenny Moonstone. No Jenny Moonstone read today or this week. We're going to do it next week. The Freedom Roadshow replays, uncensored stuff that can't go on YouTube. And, of course, the Theta page. You want to get your Theta now. You won't be able to get your Theta probably for another year. As the chaos keeps going. You won't be able to get silver. You won't be able to get Theta. And if you are able to get them, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. You won't know the price, so you'll just... And what do you pay with? Your checking account and your savings account are gone. So it's a big deal. This is a gigantic deal. And after 20 years of researching it, we've come to the head. So we'll see what happens over September, October. Keep an eye on those dates, Rosh Hashanah and the Harvest Moon, the autumnal equinox, and then, of course, the Road to Ruta. 11 plus 9 is what Ruta wrote in the sand. They seem to time honor that tradition. Now, 9/11 falls on a Sunday, so I would say check the Monday after, so the 12th, as for something to start and then continue, and then just chaos from then on out. We'll never go back. We will never go back to the old world. Anyway, you want to join the private road at Road to Ruta, go to subscribe today, and we will send out, as long as the mail is working, send you out a Ruta Lives coin, coolest coin ever made, double stamped with each is individually numbered, a hand-painted red heart in the middle of Ruta's chest, because I do think at the end of this insanity is a glorious future for the planet and for human beings. We deserve it. We've been through enough. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.